think I solved my whole issue with wanting more cameras. And I blame Fujifilm for this in a stupid roundabout way. Obviously, they make great cameras. I love their colors. I love their film, blah, blah, blah. But I shot Canon since I got my first, I went from Canon Canon SLR film, brand new body, and then bought, their first DSLR, the 5D. So, and then up to the Canon 5D Mark IV. That was, I just shot Canon. I didn't even think about it. I didn't think of the camera because I was learning about photography, and I think that's what it was about. I didn't really care or know about anything. But then I bought the XT3, and that kind of changed everything for me. And for some reason, I had this nostalgic pull back to, trying to match the film and, trying to match what I thought good photographs are, because they're good because I remember them. And I think if you can remember an image, particularly now with such a bombardment into our brains every single day, if you can remember an image, it's so important, and it's obviously very meaningful. So I thought maybe that was my path, and the look of it and the feel of it, I felt like I was part of the lore of photography, because people will, they'll come up to you in public too if you're shooting a Leica or a Fujifilm, and is that film? That doesn't happen to me very often. I think it's like they've been making these cameras for long enough now that are people really fooled that you're shooting film? Anyways, that's besides the point. But that kind of led me on the chase to, maybe I should watch 1,000 YouTube videos about Leica cameras and learn everything, and then lust for those, and then sell my Canon and Fuji and get a Leica, and then I start to do that, and then it's like, well, this isn't maybe as good as I thought it was. Maybe it's the Sony because everybody's talking about Sony, and then I'm back to Fuji because the Sony this and the Sony that. And side rant, everybody talks about the menus in the Sony being horrible. And when I moved from Canon to Fuji to Sony, I was like, oh, well, yeah, I don't know. You hear something long enough that you start to believe it. And then I was using it, and it's like, this is totally fine. They're logical. They make sense. And it wasn't until I switched back to the Fujifilm with the X100VI. They're horrible. The font is different size. It's an endless scroll. Nothing makes sense. But only do you hear about Sony and how bad their menus are. Like historically, famously, I don't get it. Look at Fuji and look at that side by side. And I say this as like, I love Fujifilm, so I'm not bashing them. I'm just kind of coming back in this arc from chasing what I thought was important. And then I realized today, because even though I just got the X100 and blah, 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 but I sold my A7 III, and I was like, okay, I'm done with having zero connection when you pick up the camera, like the tactile. I couldn't bite it. Couldn't get into it. So anyways, I picked up the Canon R8. I had the RP for a brief time, and I took it home. I looked at the images, and like the shadows were so terrible that I had to return it. But I couldn't believe that was the form factor of a full frame camera with a lens. I mean, this thing is tiny. Everybody talks about the X100, and sure, it's not pocketable, but you can throw it in a bag easy. This thing is like tiny. It's unbelievable. This is with the 51.8. It's on for $209. So the body was $400 off. It was a Black Friday thing. So Canadian, $1,700 for the body. It's full frame. It does everything. Yeah, it doesn't have IBIS. It's not weather sealed. You get so caught up in these stats when you're scrolling through YouTube nonstop, and like none of them, like chances are with the photography that I do now, which is like documentary, I don't know. I'm not going out in inclement weather. I'm not doing it. oh, this won't hold up in the desert. Really not planning on doing that. I mean, for me, it's just documenting my life, taking pictures I like around town, boring things, trying to replicate, the Saul Leiders of the world and the William Eggleston, and I'm just having fun with it, and I'm trying to capture the time while I'm here and document it. I don't need, insane gear anymore. So I mean, this thing, it's their entry level, what they call entry level, full frame. If this came out 15 years ago, people's faces would melt off. And now it's like, oh, it doesn't do this. I don't care about video. I want something small, something that the screen is covered so I can throw it in my bag and not worry about it. Something I don't have an emotional attachment to. I don't have a nostalgic pull to. I just want something that I can grab and take a picture because I'm seeing it, not because this would look good with nostalgic neg or whatever. This looks like it's whatever. I needed to get gear out of the way, and Canon is so boring and so perfect that it isn't an issue. It just gets out of the way. So I'm excited I'm selling everything, and I'm going to shoot my Canon 5D for, that nostalgic feel and color. But this Canon R8, I mean, what more do you want? I took a picture, a couple of sample photos, and looked at the RAWs, and it's bonkers. This $200 lens, don't listen to the YouTube reviews that complain about corner sharpness. Nobody cares. Like, when was the last time you were like, oh, this corner sharpness of this photo? Nobody cares. It doesn't matter. If you are in the market for a new camera, buy something like this, small, that you'll actually use. It's unobtrusive. There's enough buttons. It's worth it. Anyway, so that's my path back to Canon, because they bore the hell out of me, and it makes me not think about the camera. So I'm glad I was going to buy a Leica Q3. I'm glad I don't have an $8,000 camera that I would never really feel comfortable using or taking out or being in whatever sketchy area or whatever, because it's too precious. This is just something I can use every day and be the camera. Anyways, that's the goal. That's today's rant. Yeah, back to Canon. We'll see. And it doesn't really matter about the colors, because you can just fix everything in post or put a preset and, stop caring about that stuff. And I'll try to take my own advice. Thanks.